Kansas State, you're reigning Big 12 champion, like I said earlier. 10-3 last year, 7-2 in conference play. They did, however, lose the Sugar Bowl against Bama badly, by the way. They lost Deuce Vaughn, one of my favorite running backs in the country, to the NFL. Will Howard returns, which was one of the surprises to me last year at quarterback. Trayshawn Ward transfers in from Florida State, 628 yards, 7 touchdowns. So there you got an ACC guy who has some experience. That's a nice little transfer there. Lost Malik Knowles to the NFL. Lost Julius Brents, one of my favorite corners in the country last year, to the NFL. Lost Felix Anadike Uzoma to the NFL. I first found out about him. He had 4 sacks, against Carson Strong and Nevada.
Yeah,
also cost me money doing that. You said what, Ace?
I said, yeah, he was an elite pass rusher for sure.
Yeah, he cost me money doing that, but I digress. They returned 12 starters, 7 on defense, 7 on offense, 5 on defense. 64th total defense last year, 64th passing defense last year, 68th rushing defense last year, 93rd passing offense, 41st in total offense. Now, hold on. Before I get into that, you might be saying, Carl, Will Howard was surprised. How are they the 93rd passing offense? That's all because of Adrian Martinez and his running. They barely did any passing with Adrian Martinez starting at quarterback. Once they made the switch, that's when they started more passing. Yeah. But before that, it was all run with Adrian Martinez and Deuce Vaughn.
It was like Colin Klein came back.
Yeah, for sure. Barely doing any passing with Martinez. All right, and then they had the 41st. They were 41st total offense, 15th in rushing offense. Like I said, run with Martinez and Deuce Vaughn. Ace, give me something about Kansas State.
Well, about Kansas State, like you said, they got Will Howard coming back, and he's a pretty big quarterback. I mean, the guy's about 6'5", over 240 pounds. He threw for over 1,600 yards last season and 15 touchdowns in only 7 games. So we should only expect him to improve on those numbers with more games under his belt. One thing that sticks out about their offense for me is the offensive line. I think they have one of the best offensive lines in the Big 12, and they have depth. You know, that's something that'll be super important in this conference. The wide receiver core, you know, they'll have a lot to prove. They only have one proven starter that's coming back in Phillip Brooks, who's like a short and shifty guy. I think he's about 5'7" or so. They do have the Florida State transfer Trayshawn Ward coming back, and he rushed for about 1,100 yards and 6.5 yards per carry. You know, he may not replace Deuce Vaughn, but he should be able to be a key part of their running back rotation.
Hold on, Ace. Shout out to Joe Jordan with the super chat, $20. Says shout out to CTC, the best college sports show in the world. Shout out to Carl and Ace with the elite analysis. Biggest super chat. I'm competitive too. So it sounds like a lot of y'all got to step y'all game up according to Joe, who's gonna be the 20. But look, I appreciate any and everything. Y'all, for sure. Y'all can spend y'all money on anything, and the fact that you want to spend your money here is a blessing. I appreciate any and all things being spent. Look, you don't have to beat it if you don't want to. You can send $1. I'm cool with it, bro. I really am. I'm appreciative of it all. But shout out Joe, man.
Yeah, big shout out to Joe. You know what I mean?
And you know what I'm saying? So with that being said, Ace, continue.
Yeah, they're also returning one of the best linebackers in the country. I mean, not in the country. Well, maybe in the country, but definitely in the conference. Daniel Green. The secondary only returns one starter, though, in Kobe Savage. So, who is considered one of the best safeties in the conference. So, we'll see how that translates. I think this team will be a lot like how they were last year, not doing anything necessarily great, but they do everything good enough and they're disciplined, and you know who knows what games they could take if they cut down on the turnovers and you know, penalties and things like that. Oh, speaking of turnovers, I got this little fact right here. 0-3 in games with multiple turnovers, 10-1 in games with one or less turnovers. So I mean that pretty much goes for any team, but it should still show you guys that this team, when they're doing right, they know what to do and how to bring it home.
No, that was probably Adrian Martinez as well. I don't want to seem like I'm like killing the kid. I actually like Adrian Martinez for college reasons, but man, he kind of held Kansas State back.
Yeah.
Kansas State had the 39th overall recruiting class. I will jump into the schedule. The first game is against Southeastern Missouri State. I have that as a W. Get back.
I have that as a W as well.
All right, moving on to Troy, which Troy had one of the better defenses in the Sun Belt. Troy actually played. Man, Troy might have one of the better defenses in the country, to be honest.
Yeah, they did. They definitely did. And guess where the DC? And that's where the DC is now.
Hey, look, Troy shut down that high-power UTSA offense in that bowl game and got the W. But Carlton Martial isn't there anymore. So for that, give me the W against Troy.
Yeah, I think they're getting the W against Troy. I mean, they're at home. It's the defending Big 12 champs. They should go in there and show some grit and get a W.
All right, moving on. They play at Mizzou, SEC. Mizzou is actually crazy. At Mizzou played Georgia the best last year. They actually almost won that game.
Mizzou is actually a very sneaky team to play against, and I think they're definitely going to take an L against them.
I actually have this as a W against Mizzou because Mizzou is just crazy like that, but I think it's going to be a really good game.
I don't know. I think early in the year, Mizzou may try to I don't know. I think that could be a statement game for them.
Yeah, I have as a W. It's a lot of unknowns with Mizzou, and I'll get into that next episode, a couple episodes down. But it's a lot of question marks with Mizzou. Moving on, we have first game of Big 12 play versus UCF. I'm like Ace got like a little light in this situation as well as me. But while I wait for Ace, man, light those comments up. We love to see the comments. Ask questions about,
Yeah, cut the light on. I was looking too dark myself.
Cool. My boy's back. So, like I said, we got Kansas State versus UCF. First game for Kansas State in Big 12 play. I have a W.
Yeah, I have W as well against UCF.
All right. Then from UCF, we go to Oklahoma State at Oklahoma State, where I have a W.
I have an L against Oklahoma State.
Oh, okay. I don't know, man. I'm not high on Oklahoma. I'm not gonna say I'm not high because I'm not low on them either. But I got to see something from Oklahoma State because I think they played a close game with Central Michigan last year. And
I'm just trying to keep in account that this conference is just so unpredictable,
That's true, and I respect that. And the game wasn't close.
Everybody could beat anybody at a given notice.
Yeah, and the game wasn't close versus Central Michigan. I want to clear that up. It did get kind of close, I think, in the late second quarter, but I think Oklahoma State started to pull away late in the game. But it's a lot of, like you said, there's a lot of question marks with this division. In this conference. Moving on, we have at Texas Tech, where I have a W.
I had them taking an L against Texas Tech as well.
Yeah, bro. We might have to do Texas Tech next. This is crazy. From Texas Tech, we go to TCU, where I have a hard-fought W in the Big 12 championship rematch. It's at
yes, I have a hard-fought W as well, but asterisks on it.
Yeah, for sure. But I think Manhattan will be rocking. Moving on from TCU, we stay at home versus Houston, where I have a W.
Yes, I had them taking a W against Houston as well.
All right, moving on from Houston, we go to at Texas, where I have them taking their first loss of the season.
I had them taking an L as well against Texas.
All right, moving on from Texas, we go to at home versus Baylor, where I have a W.
I had them taking a W against Baylor as well.
All right, from Baylor, we have at Kansas, as previously stated, I have a W.
I have them taking a W as well as Kansas.
And senior day versus Iowa State, as previously stated, I have a W.
Yeah, the seniors go out with a bang. It's a W.
All right, so that puts me at Kansas State at 11-1, 8-1 in conference play. Obviously, bowl eligible, maybe eligible for the Big 12 championship. Go ahead, Ace.
Yeah, I have Kansas State at 8-4, 9-3. I think they'll be a good team, but I don't think they have enough to defend their title.
Okay, I'm not mad at that. Like you said, a couple games can go either way, but the fact that they don't play Oklahoma.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.